This comes from chapter 5.2, and these are some problems I kind of want to help you with. The first one says the random variable x is normally distributed with a mean, which is mu, equal to 174 and a standard deviation equal to 20. Find the indicated probability. So what you're going to do here is you're going to find the z-score first, and once you know the z-score, you're going to look this up on the table 4 in the back of the book, the normal distribution table, because you're told that it's normally distributed. So this first one says that I want the probability that x is going to be less than 170. Remember, the mean is 174. So if you look at this, you're going to use the formula for z-score, x minus the mean divided by the standard deviation. That gives you -4 over 20 when you subtract that, and that will turn into the decimal -0.2. If we look that up on the table in the back of the book, you'll find out that the probability is 0.4207. Now what I'd like to do is show you how you would do this using the technology. There's a quicker way, and if you have the graphing calculator, that's what you're going to want to do. And I'm going to show you where this is, then I'm going to tell you why you put a -10,000 here. So let's go to my stat lab, and this is my stat lab. We're going to Tools for Success, and once we get into there, here's the graphing calculator manual. And so we're going to go over to the graphing calculator manual, and I've shown you this several times in videos, but I just think it pays for me to go over it each time that I show you how to do this. So I'm going to chapter 5, normal distributions, and here's 5.2, so I'm going to enlarge this so you can see, and it tells you exactly what you're going to do, and this is an example where the probability of x is less than 80. And you can go to this, you can do this on your calculator. This is method 1, and what you're going to do is you're going to go to this key on your calculator, and I forgot exactly where you go to on the calculator. Let me see if it tells you on the next one on down. Oh yeah, it's second distribution, and you select number 2, the normal CDF. And what you're going to do is you're going to type in a number. This is like infinity here. Well, I type in -10,000 if it's the lower bound. If it's the upper bound, I type in 10,000. So the number you're trying to get is a number less than 80, so that's why there's an 80 here, and there are commas in between there. This is your mean, this is your standard deviation. Then you hit enter, and when you press enter, it's going to give you the answer to the problem. So I kind of showed you that, and there's how it looks on the calculator. And remember, you have to have a lower bound. That's like infinity. I wouldn't go that far. You'll see here in this other part of this example, it has -10,000. So I would use -10,000 if it's a lower bound, +10,000 if it's an upper bound. So now we're going to go back to the problem, and that's why I put -10,000. That's the lower bound. I want it to be less than 170. That's my upper bound. There's my mean. There's my standard deviation. Now every problem is worked like that. So this one's in between 160 and 170. So there's how you work it by hand. And here's how, and when you work it by hand, what you're going to do is you find the lower bound, the upper probability, then you subtract the 2, and sometimes the answer comes out just a little bit different, because you'll notice here this one comes out with a 7 on the end, and this one comes out with an 8. So there'll be a little difference there. There's your lower bound, there's your upper bound. 174 is your mean, and 20 is your standard deviation. Here again, this is just another problem, and it's just like this one, and I would just type it in using the technology.